Hey guys. So sometimes farming is hard. I'm going to talk about the side that no one talks about is where you have livestock, you'll have dead stock. It's a saying that all the farmers know, and it's so true. So we care for our animals as much as we can, and where there's livestock, there's always ones that don't make it. And even if we're raising them for meat, the ones that don't make it, it's so hard sometimes. So shout out to all the farmers out there who keep going and don't give up, because it takes a toll on the soul to lose animals. It is what it is. There's nothing that can be done, and you often have to just accept that things are not in our control. Hello and welcome to Bernadoodle's Barnyard. So today I want to summarize for you what was a very horrible, tragic, and very stressful week for us here at the homestead. So unfortunately, one of the goat kids presented with an illness, and my vet and I worked our way through it, and we couldn't figure out exactly what was wrong with her. Her first symptom was that she fell over when she got out of the goat house. I caught that on film. It was the first thing I noticed, that there was something wrong with her. And then she also had diarrhea. So yeah, he and I were thinking maybe coccidia. I got her the coccidia treatment. I treated her. Unfortunately, by the time I tried to treat her and figure out what was wrong, it was far too late. And we ended up losing the poor baby. So when her sister presented as sick, I knew it was serious because we just lost her sister. And I knew I had to act fast. She got antibiotics and coccidia medicine immediately. We ran a fecal. The fecal came back negative for all worms and coccidia, and she had a high fever. It wasn't until after I worked with my vet for a little while that I figured out that her roommate, the small brown and white buckling of Ginny's, was suckling on her navel. So even though I sprayed her navel with iodine at birth, which is supposed to prevent this problem, the other goat suckling on her umbilical cord allowed bacteria to get inside her and gave her an infection. This disease is called joint ill. So I'd never dealt with it before. You're always learning new things in farming, and unfortunately we learn from the tragedies as much as the good things. So with joint ill, they have swollen joints and they limp around a lot in pain. The goats didn't present with that symptom per se, except for the goat falling over out of the house was the first symptom I noticed. But that could have been anything from dehydration to sick to just got up too quick. So I didn't think of it as the main symptom, but it was, because she had joint ill as well from the other one bothering her navel. So the infection killed the first one and gave the second one a high fever. The second one, now that I've treated her, is doing great. I'm keeping the little brown and white one off her because obviously he's a problem. So it's really unfortunate, very sad. I'm going to show you a little bit of it. I did film the entire process of me trying to figure out what was going wrong and this and that. I'm just going to summarize it for you guys though. All right. Going out to feed my baby their afternoon bottle. Hello, babies. There's something wrong with that one. You okay? Oh. Okay. It's acting okay now, but when it came out, it was just falling over. I'm gonna go check her out. Maybe just wasn't quite awake. Hopefully. She seems okay right now. I don't know what happened when she came out of the house. Maybe she was just a bit tired, not awake, and fell over. But that scares me, so I'm gonna keep a really good eye on her. She hasn't been my best drinker. She's definitely not drinking as much as some of the other babies. So I'm going to tube feed her essentially. I'm going to make sure she gets a really good serving this time. Maybe she was a little dehydrated. So this is the sister of that one. She wasn't drinking really well either in the beginning, but now she's doing just fine. So after yesterday afternoon, when she acted weird. She was fine immediately after that, and she did eat a good dinner. But yeah, she's not doing good right now. This poor baby is very sick. I just temped her at 98, very low. So I'm gonna get her in the house, and I don't have much hope for her actually. It's really bad temperatures. Let me go get her warm. She needs to get to between 101 and 104 before I can even try to feed her. I'm gonna go get her to temp. I can't even talk about calling the vet until after she's warmed up though, because if I don't get her warm, it's kind of over. So let me go do that. All right, I got her on a heating bag, on a dog pad, under a towel. I'm suspecting coccidiosis because she has some dry poop on her butt, so diarrhea. She's really not doing good. She looks kind of bloated. My vet has a treatment he can give me for coccidiosis if it's that. Oh, baby. So good news, I just finished feeding all the baby goats. I went in and the sick one is now at 100.6, which is a lot better than what she was. And she felt good enough when she saw me to jump out of the shoebox. So I put the shoebox in a small cat crate so she can't get out, and hopefully her temp keeps going up. I'm gonna try feeding her as soon as it gets to a little above 101. I texted my vet. They haven't opened yet, so I'll give them a call when they open. So I called my vet and I left a message with his receptionist to have him call me back when he gets the chance. So if it's coccidiosis, I know the treatment is really simple. It's just an oral dose once. But at this point, I need to get her through the symptoms to then treat her. So hopefully she makes it until I get a chance to get a hold of the vet and also get the treatment in hand. And then if the symptoms are bad enough, we still might lose her. So everyone else is looking perfect, amazing, running around all happy. So I don't think we have a herd-wide issue, but I'll talk to the vet, see if he wants me to just treat everyone. Baby got out to pee and is a lot more alert. I'm going to take her temperature again now. That's a good sign. She wants her bottle. I'm going to use this mat to feed her so she has some traction, doesn't slide around my kitchen. Here you go, baby. Aw, good girl. Right now she's kind of hunched over and not looking so great, but it's actually really nice and warm and sunny out. So I'm going to leave her out here so she can be in the sun and use the bathroom, and I'll just keep an eye on her. Not a happy little goat. So I just got home from a doctor's appointment. My vet called while I was at the appointment. He needs me to weigh the 2 goats that I think have coccidia. He agrees that it's coccidiosis as the problem right now. So I'm looking out the window and she's standing up. So at least she's doing a lot better than she was this morning. I'm going to go weigh her and then go pick up her medicine. So this is why everyone should have a farm vet. You put in the effort and the money to see them once a year, have them come over and check out your whole herd for one price, and then when you have an emergency or you need medication, you can call and you can get what you need. So these baby scales work really good for weighing baby goats. Obviously she's not feeling good since she lets me just lay her there. She's 4 pounds, 10.3 ounces. So there's no guarantee that she's gonna make it through this and live, but she has a lot better chance now that she got her temp up. She got some food in her, and now we're going to get some medicine in her. So cross our fingers, pray to God, hope that she lives. Okay, I just picked up the medication from the vet. This is what he's giving him, Panazaril. Okay, so she's still doing okay. I'm going to give her the medicine now, her and the little guy here. Obviously in discomfort, she's grinding her teeth. That's not a good sign. Most animals do that. It means they're uncomfortable, in pain. So I'm assuming her belly's not feeling too great. I'm gonna make sure I get this all the way in her, make sure she doesn't spit it out because she needs it. She's kind of pot-bellied. I don't know. When they eat a lot of food, they look round, but they shouldn't look pot-bellied. That's usually a sign of coccidiosis. So this should be the correct medicine. Hopefully it does good for her. Oh, I know. Ready? All right, get that all the way in there. So I'm getting them started on a medicated coccidia preventative pellet. Little one here is still really bloated and won't really suckle, so her future is still in question, but we try to manually force some food into her. Not too much, just enough to get her through. Little girl's not looking so good. So she won't drink. And she was very lethargic when I came out here to try to feed her dinner. But she did walk from me to there. Has a tiny bit of energy. I know. Sometimes farming really sucks. I have a really strong urge to put her down because I know she's not feeling good. She's in pain. But then I'm like, maybe she'll pull through. Maybe the medicine will start working and she'll start feeling better. Hate seeing animals in pain though, it sucks. So I just called my vet to ask him what I should do because the baby goat's not eating. I force fed her a bunch for lunch and I couldn't get her to take the bottle again for dinner. So he told me to give her some yogurt. I have some homemade goat's yogurt here. I'm gonna go give her some now. To reiterate what I said yesterday, sometimes farm life sucks. I had a feeling she wasn't going to make it through the night. The baby died last night. There's no reason to show you it, but she's gone. I did what I could for her. So now I'm just going to make sure everyone else is still healthy, which they have been the whole time. That one little runty boy actually seems very healthy, and he got his medicine from the vet just in case he did have the coccidiosis as well. So, not a good day on the farm. Sorry, guys. Off with my shoebox to go bury the poor little love. So I'm glad I had her with her friends instead of in the house in a cat crate. It caused her a lot less stress being with the other goats than alone in the house. So that plastic container did not work for food. But hopefully that means they've been nibbling at it. I'll go get them a rubber black bowl. Everyone's good except for... So the baby goat sister of the one that died is not coming up to me for a bottle and just doesn't look like she's feeling very well. So I assume she has the same thing as her sister. So I got a dose of the coccidia medicine from my vet, and also I sent him with a fecal so he can make sure that's what we're dealing with and help me out. So she's a little bloated. Right now she doesn't have any diarrhea like the sister. Her poop looks like little pellets, but I expect it to be the same issue. So I am treating her for coccidia, and I should hear back from the vet soon. Here's the medicine. All the way in. Don't spit it out. I know. Hungry at all? No. So sad. I just called my vet. I'm giving her a temp check. She's running a little bit of a fever, so I'm going to call him back. So they no longer sell antibiotics over the counter. You have to get prescriptions, but I do have some left over of some oxytetracycline. My vet told me to give her a dosage, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm giving her 0.06 times her weight. This is really some thick stuff, so it burns a little bit when it goes in. You're gonna rub it. want to make sure all the air bubbles are out too before you give them a shot. So just as her sister was drastically under temp at 98 and I warmed her up and got her to temp, this one is well over the temperature she needs to be. So it's worrying. I really hope we don't lose her. I'm going to give her this dosage and repeat it as needed. Okay, so I'm going to administer the antibiotic. It's LA200. And then with my vet's permission, I am going to give her an human infant's dosage of simethicone, infant gas drops, so Gas X essentially. That works for the rabbit's bloat, so hopefully it works for her as well, and he said it shouldn't hurt. So, first intramuscular shot. I'm going to do it on this thicker muscle here. Hopefully that gives their fever down. And it burns, so I'm going to rub it to get it to distribute. I know it hurts. I'm sorry. I know. Okay, so I'm sorry. I know. That burns. I also gave her some selenium, some probiotic, and some yogurt. Better? Okay, hon. That part's over. Okay, infants, 0.3 milliliters, sorry. Open mouth. I know. Good girl. Okay, hopefully that helps with the bloat. I think I can repeat that one. So I will if she needs it. Okay. I'm going to give her a little more yogurt and then let her relax. Hope she pulls through. I just double checked little guy here. He's the other one that I gave the coccidia medicine to. He's at 102.7, so he's not running a fever. And he's eating good, and he's happy, and running around. So I think it's okay. And his poop looks normal. All right, now that everyone else is fed, I'm going to go get the electrolytes for their water. I need to refill their hay, refill their medicated pellet, and go find my vitamin B shot. They spilt the last container I gave them. This one they shouldn't be able to spill. On the other hand, they can get in it and poop in it and pee in it. So I'm going to have to wash it out, keep it clean, because they will use it as a litter box. They're also going to sleep in it, which is annoying. The feed I'm giving them is a coccidia preventative, so it should help prevent coccidia. Since it doesn't hurt and it gives them energy, I'm also going to give the little girl some vitamin B injectable. So it's 4 cc's for every 100 pounds. She's 5.5 pounds. So I did the math. She's going to get about a quarter of a cc. So this is another intramuscular injection. I'm actually going to give it on the opposite side since I did the antibiotic on this side. So it's going to be her left side. I know. So the infant gas drops seem to have worked wonders, along with probably everything else that we gave them. So I am going to continue doing the infant gas drops, and I'm going to go get some yogurt since she's still not really taking her bottle. But she did come up to me this morning for it, and she drank about an ounce on her own. So I am so happy I want to cry. The little girl that was running a fever this morning is now at 103.8, so high but not a fever. So that means that the little girl with the fever is improving drastically because she hasn't come up to me to eat in 3 days, has been completely avoiding me, running away from me, trying to make me not feed her because her belly hurt and she didn't want food and she knew I was going to force feed her if she didn't eat. So her running up to me for food is such a wonderful thing. All right, this is my first time checking on the babies this morning, so cross your fingers with me that little girl's still hanging in there. She was doing okay last night, maybe a little better than she was, and her fever was gone, so I have a little more hope this morning. Hello, babies. Hi, sweeties. How you feeling? So coccidiosis was my first thought because the first girl that passed away had diarrhea, but I'm thinking maybe her navel would have been infected because this one that has a fever has a very funky looking navel, which could be a problem. That's very loud. Why are you yelling? Why are you yelling? Don't know. Okay. The reason her navel looks like that is because that little one, the really runty one that keeps wanting to die on me because it's really weak, has been sucking on her navel like a nipple since it was born. So if her navel got infected, and that's why she has a fever, that could be a problem. I'm going to talk to my vet about that too. So apparently with joint ill, the bacteria enters through the navel usually. And since her littermates were sucking on it, even though I put iodine on it, it could have let some bacteria in. She was also born outside, so I wasn't there right away. So the treatment is lots of antibiotics, so it could be why she's feeling better right now. And just time waiting for her to feel better. But apparently the bacteria can harbor itself inside them for up to 2 months. And then in times of stress, including weather changes and weaning, so both of the things they're dealing with right now, the bacteria can cause them sickness. So baby girl is drinking on her own, which is wonderful. Not a lot though. How much do we get? Not a lot. Checking her temp this morning. That's perfect. So she's not running a fever anymore. Excellent. Right. She didn't even drink an ounce on her own, so I'm going to force feed her some yogurt. But she's not bloated anymore, so belly's feeling better. I'm going to call my vet and discuss what I think it could be with the joint ill and see what he thinks. So my immediate plan is to isolate the one who's been causing the problem, the little brown and white boy, since he is the one who's caused the infection of her navel, I believe, because I know he's sucking on her. I'm going to leave him in his own pen at night with his sister, who has not been bothering. And the one that's sick is actually going to go in the other pen with all the healthy goats until her navel goes down, the swelling, and until she's feeling better. That way he can't continue to irritate that. I don't know why he's not bothering his sister, maybe because he never started on her, so it never got swollen enough that he thought it was a nipple to start sucking on her navel. But he's been a problem with sucking on ears and penises and navels the whole time, so he's just a little bit of a problem child. So his problem is potentially, most likely, nothing to do with the two sick girls' problem. They probably are sick because of him. But I think his problem is that he's just completely weak, little runty goat that is struggling to survive because he won't eat enough and never has. So he keeps going under temp because he won't drink enough. And no matter how much I force feed him, I think that's probably his problem, is that he's just not getting the calories in. So he's hungry, so he's sucking on the other babies. But when I actually offer him food, he won't take enough to make him feel better. So he's going under temp due to lack of calories overnight. I've been force feeding him between 3 and 5 ounces every night. My vet just got back to me and he agreed that the fever definitely could have been caused from joint ill. So I'll just be separating the one that was bothering her navel, and he won't be sleeping with her anymore, and we'll see if she gets better and the irritation around her navel stops because he won't be sucking on it, hopefully. So, having received their LA 200 shot of antibiotic, everyone's pretty mad at me, and they're all laying down. Good morning, guys. So the rest of the baby herd received their antibiotic yesterday. Everyone seems to be feeling really good this morning. pray to God that no other babies get sick and that we don't lose any more, because that was really horrifying losing that one. The first one that died went under the weather so quickly, and then just, yeah, there was nothing I could really do. I treated her, but it was too late. It's been a really rough week taking care of the sick baby goats. I'm exhausted. I'm happy everyone's starting to feel better. My only regret of the week would be that, obviously I wish I caught that the first one was sick earlier, but can't do much about that. I saw that she was sick when she was sick, and I treated her as soon as I could. Just sometimes it's never not enough. Sometimes it's not soon enough. Not just gonna happen. So sometimes God does what he does, and unfortunately I couldn't save that one. So I do the goats as milk animals. So in order to get milk, I have to breed them, have to have kids. And when I have kids, obviously there's some level of vet care required. I try to do as little as possible because it's very expensive. So it needs to be worth me having the adults and the milk to have the kids. But obviously you have to treat them when they're sick. So it's good to have a nice vet that you can call when you have problems and send fecals in, blood work, whatever else you need to figure out what's going wrong if you have sick animals. Unfortunately, the country has decided that people aren't smart enough to deal with their own antibiotics for their animals, which really pisses me off because I don't do it just willy-nilly. If I need to give an antibiotic, it's because the animal's sick and it has an infection. So I used to be able to buy it at Tractor Supply and give it to them when I needed it. Not very often, but sometimes it's obvious when they need an antibiotic, like mastitis or something, like they need it. And the country has decided we're not smart enough to do that. So now I need a prescription, which is okay because I have my vet anyways. I'm going to have a vet anyways. So I'm not actually using any less antibiotics by them taking my ability to give it myself away. I'm using the same amount of antibiotics. I just now need to spend more money on it and go to the vet to pick it up instead of just having it on hand. I'm still using the same amount of antibiotics I would if I could go buy it myself, have it on hand, and give it immediately. So when my vet's closed, I don't get antibiotics for 2 days. It's annoying. That was part of the problem with the medication I needed for the first one, is I had to wait. He wasn't open on the weekend. It was Sunday, so I couldn't get it till Monday. So she had a day in between where I would have given her medication versus when she got it, which is really annoying. But luckily I have a little bit of antibiotic on hand from before they stopped selling it. That's going to run out soon, especially when I just gave it to the whole baby herd, and I'm going to give it again in 3 days. So that's a good thing for this year, but every other year I'll have to wait for the vet to give it to me. So little girl here is still not running a fever, which is excellent. So that means she's feeling a little better in that way, and she's eating. But now she's limping around really bad, which leads me to believe that the diagnosis of joint ill is correct. She wasn't limping before, or it wasn't as obvious as it is now. So it's a bacterial infection caused from bacteria going in through the umbilical cord area. So her navel got infected. Usually it shows up within a couple weeks. It could be up to a couple months, and stress makes it show up more readily. So we've been changing her food as she grows into big girl food, and the hay and the pellet and the water and the grass, and also the weather changes. So that's what caused it to show up now. And I did spray her with iodine at birth, so she shouldn't have had joint ill, but unfortunately her roommate has been torturing her by sucking on her navel like it's a teat. So I believe that's what happened to this one, and definitely could have been what happened to her sister as well, although I'm not sure where the diarrhea played into part with that one. But she's feeling a little better. Everyone else is out here enjoying the sun. I was just watching her walk around. It really does make me think joint ill, because she was kind of limping. If her joints are all swollen and achy. So I did spray her umbilical cord with the iodine when she was born, but the little one messing with her this whole time definitely could have let some bacteria in her navel. She just looks miserable. Feel bad for her. But her fever is down and she's eating, so big improvements. And she's not all bloated anymore. So. Change of seasons, weather, and weaning all cause a lot of problems for little baby goats. So, and keep an eye out for other issues. So right now we seem to be okay, other than her not wanting to go run and play with everyone else. So she's feeling a lot better since she's drinking on her own now. I really hated force feeding them. It's like torture for everyone. Veterinary medicine is definitely like solving a mystery because they can't tell you what's wrong with them, and you can only figure it out with testing and as symptoms arise, and then you kind of piece together what's wrong. So her not limping until after I've treated her and figured out what was wrong, was a major sign of what's wrong with her. So if she was limping the whole time, I might have thought joint ill, but it wasn't affecting her until now, after the antibiotics have kicked in, which is very frustrating because it's really hard to know what's wrong with an animal when you just have a sick goat that's not showing the traditional symptoms of the problem. So I've never dealt with this before. Hopefully it resolves pretty quickly and she starts feeling better, because she's definitely sore. You can tell her knees are a little swollen and she's limping. So the other thing about this is that my vet never suspected joint ill. I was the one who figured it out. So it's great to have a vet, but it's also really important to have your own set of knowledge. A lot of mine is based off of other people's YouTube channels. So a lot of the times I figure out what's wrong before the vet does. But it's good to have them, but you also need to develop your own skills. Little girl with the joint ill here is doing amazing. She just drank an 8-ounce bottle down, no problem. And she's just feeling overall better, so yay. So thank you guys for watching. Sorry it was such a sad video, but I hope it can help someone else who may have the same issue. Maybe resolve it quicker and hopefully save someone else's goat. So please remember to like the video, subscribe, and ring the notification bell, and we'll see you next time on Bernadoodle's Barnyard, hopefully for a much happier story next time. All right, talk to you later. Bye.